Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video. We are going to continue with part 2 of this YouTube API analysis using Python. If you have not watched the first part of the video, please do watch it. There I have taught the basics on how to get, say for example, the total views and total subscriber count for YouTube channels. So I demonstrated those values for two channels, Akshat Shrivastava and Variku channel. So basically have a look at that. I have put the link in the description section. Once you are done with that, you can come and continue watching this video. In this video, we are going to try and see how to find, say, the list of videos or the IDs of videos for a particular playlist. Okay, that will be the first part of the video. As usual, we will import these two packages. And yeah, if you watch the first part of the video, you'll understand. So we need the API service name, the version of the API, and also since we are using an API key, we need like a secret developer key. I have showed you in the first part how to actually generate it. Once you have that, then you just put this command, and this also, if you remember, we took it directly from the YouTube API references only. Okay, so once we have this, let's continue. Go back to our YouTube API. I would say it's one of the most useful documents to just like literally pick code from there and put it here. So as I told you, I want to find the videos under a particular playlist. So you can go to playlist items, go to list, okay, and you can go to code sample. Okay, so same way, whatever we want to see, we can put here. Okay, and if you see here, we would also need like the playlist ID. So let us go to say Akshat's channel. Okay, and let us check for some specific playlist. Let me go to the playlist with the most videos. So stock market investing playlist, he has put 168 videos as you see here. So I'll go to view full playlist, and once we go there, this last part right after the is equal to is the ID. So I can just copy that. Okay, and say I want max results to be whatever. I'll put playlist ID equal to this. Okay, and since I want the ID of the videos, that is usually present within this content details part, so I will just select content details. I don't need the snippet, like I don't need the title at least for now. Okay, and as you know, we are not doing this method, we are trying to do this through the API key. So I will just select that and let's just execute. Okay, I'll go down to Python, and basically if you see this part, so this is the thing we want to test, right? Like the request part, like we have done last time. So I'll just copy the request part. I'll scroll down till here. Okay, copy this. Let me go back to here and paste it. Okay, so we have the playlist ID, part is content details, and yeah, we have the response. We are trying to print the response. Okay, so let's try to run this first. Let's see what happens. If you see, we get stuff like this, right? And basically the default value is only 5. I'll show you why that is happening, because if I come out of this and I scroll down, you'll see max results is another parameter which is optional. Default value is 5, but we can mention from 0 to 50. Okay, this is one thing we need to keep in mind. So we can choose max results. Okay, I'll go and put it there and say is equal to 50. Like the max we can give is 50 in one go. So now when I run this, you will see as I scroll down, we have 50 results. Okay, but as you remember, the total number of videos was 168. In one go, we can only get maximum 50, like 50 video IDs. And similar to the last video, can we extract the video ID from this? Yes, we can. If you look at the JSON format here, what happens is similar to last time. We have something called as items, right? You see here we have items, right? Items is the first layer of the response object, and then within items, as you see, we have a lot of things like kind, e tag, ID, and we also have content details within items. Okay, and within content details you have the video ID. Okay, So basically within items there is content details, within content details there is video ID. So say I wanted to extract the first value of video ID, what we could do is similar to last time. I will say response of items, the first value, so I will put the index 0, and within items we wanted to get the value within content details, right. So I will select content details, put it in single quotes, and within content details we wanted to select the first value, which is the video ID. So I will select video ID. So if I run this, I get the video ID, right, 87 whatever that is, which is actually the value for the first video ID. If you see here, it's the same as this value. Okay. So essentially we are able to get the value in this manner. All right. Now let us go back and check. So we got only 50 results, but totally we need to get actually 168 results. Okay. For this, the API itself has an hidden trick in it. The concept is called as next page token. Okay. So this is the video IDs in page number 1. Okay. But it has given us a next page token, which is basically the token for the next page, right. If I go back to the documentation, so they have another parameter called page token, which is optional. So by putting the value for the page token, we can actually get the values of videos for that particular page. Okay. So here if I include another argument page token, okay, and say so this is next page token for page number 1, which means it's actually the page token for page number 2. So if go here and put this, okay, and if I run, you will see now in video ID we got different set of video ID. Basically we are getting another 50 results, okay, but this is the second set of 50 results from 51 to 100. Okay. So this is the video IDs in the second page of the result. Okay. Similarly, in the second page we have the next page token, which is this. So this is actually the page token for page number 3. So if I paste that here instead of the current page token, you will see now we again get new set of video IDs. We get another 50 video IDs. Okay. This is basically 101 to 150 page number 3 of the results. Okay. And again we have a next page token, which is actually the page token for page number 4. So I'll copy this again, and if I put it here and run, again we get new set, but this time note we get 50 results. Actually the results per page is 50. Let us check the length. Okay, length of the response of items. We will understand how much we should ideally get 18, and we get 18. When I put length of response of items, we get 18. Why this is happening is total is 168, right. So first page had 50, second page 50, third page 50. So we are done with 150. Fourth page has remaining 18 results. Okay. And if you notice here in this fourth page, there is only previous page token. There is no next page token. Why? Because this is the last page, right. So essentially this is another way to communicate with Python, saying if the next page token is not there or it is none, then we know that is the last page for the list of video IDs. Okay. Now that we have this base, let us try to write a function. Okay. So basically like yesterday, like the previous video, I'll write a function. Say I'll say this define like YouTube say video ID or something like that of playlist. Okay, I'll just put this inside. That's the function. So within the function, remember first as usual we can declare an empty list, video list. Okay, and I'll declare an empty list. Okay, that is step number 1. Then I'll copy this request as such. Just make sure they are aligned. Okay, and now we don't need the page token here, because first we want to check for page number 1, and for page number 1 there is no need for page token. Okay, it will come by default. So I'll keep max results is 50. Okay, make sure the request is also, yeah, I'll remove the request part now. All right, and then we want the response. Make sure request and response are aligned in the same line, like here and here. Okay, so we will get the response. Okay, so once we have the response, what do we usually do? Like, since we have 50 video IDs, like if you remember the previous video, we ran it in a for loop. So I would say for I in range of, so I'll put the length of this, response object. So I'll say length of response of items. Yesterday, since we had only 2 channels, I would have put range of 2, but here I want to do the range for the length. Okay, for this, what we can do is we can basically append this value, right? And before that, let me just show you one other thing. Okay, so we have this response of items of whatever, right? Let us check what is the type of this. Okay, whether it's a list or a string, whatever. So I'll just search for type, and we find that it is a string. Since this full thing is a string, we could actually directly append it to an existing empty list. Okay, so what I could do is I could come here, and the existing empty list is this video list, right? So I will just say video list dot append of this one, and since it is in a for loop, I'll put it as I, so it will run from 0 to the length of the response item. Okay, so it will get appended one by one. So here we are putting 50 results, so the 50 video IDs will steadily get appended. Okay, this is step number 1. Okay, so by running this, we will basically get only the first 50 values. In order to get all the 168 values, we have to bring the concept of next page token in here. Okay, as a first step, what we can do is we can try to actually find the value of next page token. Let us declare a variable, say next page token, and we could use something called as a get method. Okay, so as we have here, it's very straightforward. So from this response object, we will say response dot get of, and we want to get the value for next page token, right? So next page token, the exact format is here, so I will just copy that and I'll put it here within single quotes. So this will give us the next page token value for page number 1, which will happen to be the page token value for page number 2, right? Now let me declare an extra variable, call it like extra pages is there, and let me default set it to true. Okay, and then I will run a while loop and say extra pages is there. Okay, so what this will do is, as long as extra pages is there equal to true, the while loop will keep running. Okay, when should it actually stop running, or when should it become false? So as we saw, if there is no next page token, what does that mean? It actually means that that is the last page of the results, right? So the first condition we can give like that. So if this next page token value is not there, or it becomes none, then we can say extra pages is there is actually equal to false, because next page token is none. We know that is the last page, which means there is no more extra page after this. Okay, so in this particular case, extra pages is there becomes false. As a result, the while loop will stop running. Okay, but till it becomes false, it will continue running. And what is the else condition? So if next page token is actually there, there is a value, then we just need to simply do this again, right? Like we need to request for the next whatever set of values, and then I'll also copy the response. Okay, make sure request and response are aligned together. Okay, so we'll get the next 50 responses, and again we need to now do the for loop to append it to our existing 50 values, right? And make sure that the append condition is properly aligned within the for loop. Okay, we'll get this. Okay, but there is only one twist. Okay, so if we just run this one, it will again just show us the first 50 results, right? Because it's still considering the first page by default. To explain to Python to actually consider the next page, what we could do is could add a page token argument here, page token parameter. And what is the page token for page number 2? It is actually the next page token for page number 1, right? So we will just copy the next page token for page number 1 and put it as the page token for page number 2, and this way we will get the second set of 50 values and it will get appended. Okay, once this is done, we have to do one final thing which is very important. We'll have to again copy this and put it here. I'll explain you why. So after the second run is done, right, for that the page token was equal to the next page token from this first run. Okay, but now when we want to move to the next page, so the while loop will continue because there is still a next page token, so the else condition will continue. But now what is the value of next page token? It is actually the page token for page number 3, which is the next page token of page number 2, right? So that is why we will use this next page token and try to get the next page token value for page number 2, and then again when it goes through the while loop and reruns, now it will consider page token value of page number 3, which is the next page token of page number 2. So this loop will keep running till it encounters the final 4th page where next page token becomes none, then extra pages is there becomes false, and the while loop will stop running, right? That is why this is important to keep reassigning next page token values as we progress along the pages. Okay, and if you see throughout, we are just appending everything to the video list value, right? If you see, we declared a blank one, then we appended, and we are continuing to append. Okay, so final step what we can do is I can just return the video IDs value. So I'll just say return video IDs. Okay, let me run this. Okay, I've run the function. Okay, now let's try the function for this particular playlist. So I have this playlist and the function name is, as you see, YouTube video ID of playlist. Okay, so I'm just typing YouTube video ID of playlist here, playlist ID, so I'm substituting it with this particular value. Let us run this and see what we get. We have an error. As you all see, we have an error here. Let's see what is the error. Okay, so basically if you guys see here, responsive item should come with the square bracket, right? We have here put the normal bracket. So please check, even the best coders sometimes make these kind of silly mistakes. So I'll just remove this and put it like this, so it should be in square brackets. And let me just copy this, and I think I've made the same error here as well, right? So I'll just delete that, and now yeah, this should be fine. And also I've put return video IDs. Actually we want to return the video list, right? Video list is the blank list we declared, and then that is where we are appending the values for the first page and then for the subsequent pages as well. So I want to return the video list. So let me run that again, and now I have this playlist ID. So I will run the YouTube underscore video ID function, which is basically this one, right? This one. Instead of playlist, I'll be substituting it with the playlist ID, which is this value. So when I run that, I get a lot of values. Ideally we should have 168 values here. So let me put length of this. Let me check the length to make sure we have the 168 IDs. And so we do have 168 IDs. So our query is correct, right? So finally we have been able to extract the video IDs. Okay, now we need to get the video details. This will be the last step. For that, first let's do something. So this full set of values, let's store it in something called as video info. Okay, so this will have the full list of IDs. Okay, and essentially now if I run video info, this full list of values is actually stored there. Okay, we clear outputs, and next step, so we'll need to go back to the API again one more final time. This time, since we want to see videos, we can come to videos here, click on list again, scroll down, let's say list by video ID, and again here, so this time I want like some statistics and snippet, right? Similar to what we did for the channel, we want like the name of the videos, the number of likes, number of comments, things like that it has got. So I will just put snippets and statistics. That should be good. Okay, and yeah, let us first put like say one video ID. I'll copy, maybe I'll run this. Let me copy one from here. Can just put it here. Okay, and yeah, we'll run the same API key again. Execute Python, scroll down, and yeah, this is essentially what we want, right, for the video list. So just copy this like we've done. I've pasted that code here. Let's see when we run this what happens. So for this particular video ID, we get all the details here, as you see, right? For example, the view count, the like count, the comment count, and so on. Okay, so we get that. That's fine. Say we want to do it for all the 168. What we can do is, if you remember one thing from the first video, so whenever we had this, two channel IDs, to kind of combine them, you use the join method and the comma, right? So we'll try to do a similar thing here. As we know, this is also like, this whole thing, this video info is in the form of a list. Okay, so what we would do is we can try to put it here only. So we'll say comma dot join of video info. Okay, and yeah, since we know video info is a list, say we want to first see only the first 49 or 50 values, we'll put something like this, right? So if we want to see specific elements of a list, like from say the first value to the 50th or 51st value, we will put something like this. Okay, but remember one more thing, that even for this videos thing, in one call we can get a maximum of 50 results. So we actually have to do a for loop to actually get all the details of these 168 video IDs. Like we need to do multiple runs. For that, I'll put it in a for loop. So let's define a function here. That will be more convenient, I think. Okay, so yeah, just come down again. Yeah, define a function. I'll say define, say video details of, say let's say video info or some video. Yeah, video info, right? That's fine. And the first step is, of course, as always, we'll declare a blank list, video details. Okay, and we want to append to that list. Then comes the for loop. So we'll say for I in range of, so we want to do it for all the 168 video IDs, but in one go we can only do 50. So we could, if you've seen my loops video, in that I've also explained how we can put stepwise ranges. So we could say 0 comma, let's say length of video info, which is 168. So this basically says 0 comma 168 and then comma 50, right? This means that please do it in steps of 50, process 50 videos at a time. So now what we can do is, we can as usual copy this request thing, right? And then once the request is done, we want to do the response. Okay, let me copy it so that it's aligned properly. Okay, and then response also needs to be aligned similar to where request is. Okay, now they are aligned. All right, so now what will happen is, so basically from 0 to 168 in steps of 50, we are asking it to get the video details, right, and put it in this response object. So in the first run, it will run like the first 50. So for us to kind of make this call dynamic, instead of saying 0 to 50, if we fix 0 to 50 here, every time it will just output the first 50 videos details. Okay, if we say for example I to I plus, say, let me give you an example, like let me say I plus 20, what will happen is, so for example, or let me say I plus 50 only, since we have 50 videos. Okay, what will happen is, so for example when I is 0, right, what happens, so it will go from 0 to I plus 50, which is 50. Okay, then after that, right, after the first step, second step, what happens is i's value will become 50, and we need to go in steps of 50. So I plus 50 becomes 100, right? So in the second run, it will show from 50 to 100, and then in the third step, when i's value will become 100, then I will be 100, I plus 50 becomes 150. So in the third step, it will show from 101 to 150 those values, and the final step, we have only 18 remaining. As you know, we had only 168 video IDs. So we'll start from 150 and try to go till 200, but yeah, it will finish at 168 itself. Okay, so by making this dynamic, whenever the value of I changes, the video info that needs to be extracted, right, the list of video IDs will also change dynamically, and this will all get stored in this response object. Okay, now final step is it's similar to what we did here. Remember this part, like the dictionary part. So essentially what we could do is could do another for loop. Okay, so I would say for I in say range of length of response of items. So we've been doing this too many times, so I think you guys are familiar with what we're doing here. Okay, for this, for every time, yeah, let me store it in a new value. Let me call it, say, video data. Okay, and here I will supply it in the form of dictionary, similar to what we did in the first video. And let's say, for example, I want to see the title. Okay, I'll put title name is equal to, and yeah, the procedure is pretty much the same like yesterday. So for example, say we have items. Okay, and within items, as usual, we have snippet, and within snippet we have the title, and we also have the published at, like, kind of like the date, right? So what we can do is, so title name, I could say response of items of, again we'll put the value I here. Okay, and within items I wanted it for snippet, and within snippet I wanted the details for the title, right? So this will come as usual. So this is one value. Okay, put a comma, and let me next find when it was published, right? So let me put the name as publishing date or something like that. Okay, so response of items of I, and again within the snippet the name of the value here is published at, so I will just put that here. So this will give the publishing date. Say apart from this, I want to see some statistics data. So again, so if you remember, like what we did yesterday, say I copy this full thing. Okay, and let's go to JSON formatter, this one, and let's paste it. So once it's processed, we see, so basically there is items, within items there is snippet. Okay, and similarly there is also statistics, right? So within item there is statistics, and within statistics we have these values: view count, like count, favorite count, all that. Okay, so going back to our data here, say I want to see the views, number of views. So it's going to be almost the same. So response of items of I of, but this time instead of snippet we want to find it within statistics. So within statistics we have the view count, right? So I'll copy statistics first, and within that I wanted to see the view count. So I'll just type that here, view count. I think this is how it is. No need this brackets, or yeah, I think this should be good. It was view count. Let's anyway cross check. Yeah, maybe let's just copy paste. Will be better. Yeah, it's the same. So that is view count. Okay, let me say for example comments. So it will be everything is the same. So it is also comments is also within statistics only. We see. So within statistics we have view count, we have the comment count also as well. So I'll just copy comment count. Okay, so yeah, we have the views and comments. If you also want the likes, I'll just say likes, and yeah, everything else is the same, only the last part will change again. So within statistics we also had something called as you see within statistics we have like count. Okay, so I'll just put that there. Now what will happen is so we'll get, first of all we'll extract all the data for the 168 video IDs by running through this for loop multiple times, and then for each of those responses we iterate through each of the responses, try to find the title, name, publishing date, number of views, comments and likes. Okay, so we'll get all these values. Now let's just append it to our blank list video details, which we've usually done. I'll just say video details dot append of what is that, video data, right? So that should work. And finally I just want to return video details. Okay, video details. Okay, I think this should work. So let's run this. There is an indentation problem in like return, so let me just move it a little bit, bring it within the function. So now when I run this it works fine. Okay, so now this is the function video details of video info. So let me try to run and see what happens. Now we get the value. So like let me check the length of it. Should ideally be 168, right? So yes, it is 168. So now let's do this, right? Like basically let me show this into like a final data, like I'll save it in final data. Okay, and now let us check the type of final data. Let us check whether it is a list or not. It is a list, right? So what we can do is we can now convert it into a data frame, say final info, call it final info, and we'll use pd.data frame, which we have done multiple times, and yeah, feed final data into it. All right, so now that's done. Let's see how final info looks. This is the proper final data, and we get, so for this particular playlist we get all the the 168 videos. So the name of the title, the date it was published, the views, comments and likes. Okay, now we have reached this step. So for this particular playlist, for these 168 video IDs, we got the data. We have the final data. Let's do some basic manipulations. First let's check the data types of these columns. You see everything is an object, right? But views, comments, likes, for example, are numeric columns. So first let's try and convert them. Okay, so I'll say final info of first, for example, views. We could say pd dot to underscore numeric, so we can convert it to numeric, right? So the same column which is like currently object data type, we are trying to convert it to numeric. Okay, so I'll just copy this same thing, just need to change it to comments and likes for the corresponding columns, right? So I'll also convert comments, number of comments it is basically, and then likes, right? Basically the number of likes. Okay, so let's run this. Once I've run this, now if I check info, yes, okay, we have converted these three now to numeric. Okay, one more thing is, so title can be object data type, that's fine, but publishing date we want to convert it to say date or date time data type. So I'll just say final info of publishing date. Okay, could say pd dot to underscore date time of the same thing, just converting it to date time. And now again if I check info, yes, we've been able to convert it to date time. Okay, so now if I try to show final info again, so we're getting like date time, and these have become now numerical, right? All right, so that looks good. Suppose I wanted to add a new column like say month, say I'll call it final info of month. What I could do is basically we have this column, right? Final info publishing date. Could do that and say dot dt dot month. Okay, so now by doing that, let me run final info again. Now we get the month. So this is April, this is April, this is June, so we get the month. Similarly, if I wanted to see the year, could just say final info year. Okay, creating another column, select the whole thing again. Okay, and instead of dt dot month, I could say dt dot year. Okay, and now again when I see final info, I have 7 columns now. So I have the title, publishing date, views, comments, likes, and then the month of the video, the year of the video. That we have year and month. Let us try to combine them into a single column. Let me create a new column, year, month. Okay, let's maybe separate the month and the year also by a hyphen. How we can do that is we could say final info of month. Okay, since these are numbers and we're trying to combine them, we'll first try to convert them to string. Use as type of string. Then after that, let's say we want a hyphen, so I'll put a hyphen within double quotes, do another plus, and do the same operation for the year. Okay, let me run this, and now let's see what is final info. We see, so we get 4 2021, 6 2021, and so on. So we get the year and the month combined together as one column. So suppose I wanted to see which are in this playlist of 168 videos, which are the like top 10-15 videos by say views. What we could do is we could use final info of sort values. If you remember, I taught you this in the pandas session. We could say sort values and by what particular column we can say, and then we can say ascending equal to false or true. So essentially I could say by and say I want to sort it by views. Okay, and say ascending equal to false. So I want it in descending order. Okay, y could use ascending equal to, let's just cross check here. So ascending should be small a, and yeah, no need to put this in single quotes. Okay, so we get, yeah, for example, this has got, so fundamental analysis of 3 small cap and penny, whatever that is the full name, how to make regular income from investments, how to make dividend income. Like these are the top in terms of views. Let us say I want to select only the top 10. I will say dot head of 10. So we'll basically get these values, like so. Then we have become a millionaire, made 31 crore in stock market and all that. So this is in terms of views. If you want to sort it in terms of comments, instead of views I could just substitute it by comments. So which Adani stocks to buy or sell, how to make regular income from investment, one of the best stocks to buy right now. These are the ones which have got the most number of comments. Okay, so you could just change it to views, comments, likes, and see what kind of sorting you want to do. And yeah, once we have this kind of stuff, we could do further data analysis. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this complete video. It was a long and very tricky video, but I hope you got through it step by step. This is how we could extract YouTube API data, the video details, the statistics for videos, and finally do some sort of comparison. Okay, I'll see you again in another video. Till then, take care. Bye.